this is Carrie Ann with our Dress On Teen Talk coming to you from our store here in South Hills Village Mall. And we have our teens, Bethany, and she brought a special guest with us, so we're so excited. So, Bethany, introduce your guest.
Hi, I'm Bethany. This is my boyfriend, Santiago.
Oh, let's all give a clap for Santiago, who also is TikTok famous, that is going to help us here with Dress Up. We are so excited that we have Bethany and Santiago here who are TikTok famous, and Zoe also just told us that she has how many followers, Zoe?
600.
Okay, so we have also our Zoe. So Santiago, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Santiago. I'm 17. I play soccer. I like making videos, and I'm a horrible dresser. Like, I don't have the same pair of socks. Oh, I do this time, but yeah. So it's nice to be in this store with nice dresses, being a horrible dresser.
Oh, awesome. We like you. Yay, we'll keep you.
I'll forgive you for that. Was nice.
Yeah, poor Emma got kicked out because Santiago, guest speaker, is here today. Sorry. So, Zoe has some announcements. She decided where she was going to college. So, Miss Zoe, where are you going?
That's so exciting.
I'm going to Slippery Rock University.
Awesome. And what are you going to go for, honey?
Psychology and pre-occupational therapy.
Good. Amazing. And then we have our Cassidy here. So, what's been going on with you, Miss Cassidy?
I'm allowed to have prom, so got my prom dress last time I was here. It's red.
That's good. Red and fabulous.
Yeah.
And then what about you, Miss Emma?
I thought you were going to say troublemaker. Anyway, I'm also allowed to have prom. My dress is also red. Yeah, I know.
Red is fierce.
It is fierce. Anyway, I also committed to a college. I'm going to a Westminster College in Pennsylvania to play tennis for one of my coaches.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome. She's a tennis player.
You'll be close. You guys can come back.
We can.
What are you,
I don't. Well, that's details to be determined.
Understandable.
Yeah.
So we also have Bethany. You also decided where you're going to go. Where are you going?
I'm going to Savannah College of Art and Design in Georgia.
My best friend goes there.
Just a food for thought, just to let you know. So awesome! Congratulations to my three seniors who flying the coop. But I think we're going to have a college dress on. That would be amazing. How to deal as a freshman, and how to help you through your party years. No drinking.
I don't think I'll have enough time.
Huh?
I don't think I'll have enough time.
Did you be designing? You'll be
I'll be
going
too
for
busy.
acting.
Yeah.
acting.
I'll be tennising, so don't worry about that.
So cool deal. And then we also have our Alexander here who helps me out here at the shop, and she was one of my internships from Kent State, and she is graduating. And where are you leaving to?
I am moving to the Pacific Northwest, Washington State, in July. I'm excited.
Well, good. We're excited for you.
Thank you.
So let's talk a little bit about social media. And we have our interns from Kent, with our podcast that we have, Chatting with Carrie Ann. You can find that on Apple. What was our topic for this week that we're going to have them do? So we're going to talk a little bit amongst our teens as to, about social media.
Yeah, so our interns are doing a podcast just about kind of the distortion, essentially, of social media. Maybe people feel that on social media they have to look absolutely perfect, and kind of how does that affect you? Because I think it does go a long way. And if you feel like you have to be perfect on social media, that could be tough for your mental health.
So let's start with Bethany. So Bethany, you're very big with TikTok on social media. So give us your perception when you look at other people's accounts, and even like your own personal. I know in the past we've talked about this, touch base, that if you feel like a video is not perfect and if you don't get that many followers, you delete it and then you restart it again.
Yeah.
So what is your perception as far as like social media, and how do you perceive other people's accounts?
Chances are nothing that you see is real. It's whatever they want to show you. Like even with myself, like there will be days when I'll have like a migraine, but I'll still like post a video where it's like, oh, I'm like having so much fun today. Like I'll like sit outside and like sunbathe real fast or something. But in reality, I'm like in my bed and I'm like, oh, I'm miserable today. You know, it's just everything's fake. Nothing is honestly as you see it.
So how do you think that what are we setting the standards for, like, out there, that because somebody could come out like, oh, everything is just like you said, everything's like perfect, but then like behind the scenes, they could be going through like depression, they could be going through an abusive relationship or anxiety, and do you think that sometimes people put a different perspective out there of themselves in order to make themselves feel better, or why do you feel that we do that? Is it because we want society to accept us?
Yeah, I think it's more of like a societal acceptance. I think everyone kind of craves a comfort of some sort, and a lot of times that comes from the approval of someone else. So I think that a lot of times whenever people post, they're constantly looking for that approval from like the people.
Let's go to Santiago. What do you think as far as you're also TikTok famous and you do a lot of social media? How do you perceive people on social media?
So, social media, like once you get past a certain amount of followers and you're trying to pursue it, it takes a lot of time and effort. And to commit to that amount of time and effort, you gotta want to escape your own reality in some level. So most of the people that I know, that I'm in group chats with and stuff like that, there is something in their life that they want to kind of run away from, like either the rat race, like in the economic battle, you know what I mean? Like not going to their father's like work or whatever, or like just simply as I'm getting bullied in school, so I'm gonna do this social media thing to give me my dopamine and escape. And then you get to this level of like kind of success where you have to like think, am I gonna commit to this or am I gonna like leave it? And I've kind of found that the more you commit, the tougher it is on your mental health, just due to the sheer like fakeness of it, because social media and TikTok specifically, or Vine, they satisfy, or they're for the common denominator. They're for the lowest like type of entertainment out there. Depending on the account, I have a couple of friends that make beautiful videos that I absolutely love. But like you see these guys that are like, prank on my girlfriend, and then they just throw paint on their significant other, stuff like that. So yeah, like it's just a form of escapism that is very interesting to see, because it's at the same time amazing. Like seeing these numbers, managers are like calling you. You have friends that are like envious. They're asking you. You have like I went to a field trip one time, and it was like this walk in the anniversary of like this march from like the civil rights movement, and the mayor made it that day. And while the mayor was talking, it was like 800 kids, and the kids, of course, that's like the demographic for my TikTok account, and the kids just like kept wanting to take pictures. So that's great, but like at the same time, making videos every day took a huge toll on like my mental health. Just the videos themselves, not even any repercussions of like the comments or anything like that. So it's all a toll on mental health.
Well, I do think because it's a job. It's like a full-time job to like maintain. I even know as a business owner, to maintain all those sites. I mean, I don't have time to do all that. And then, you have to respond, because that was the one thing they say. You have to respond to people because they have the interaction. And then you have to like, keep everybody engaged in order to continuously build, and then, coming up with new content. And it's just like, what is truly real out there. So I mean, I can see like where it can be challenging.
Well, and it's interesting because I know you said like a lot of people use it to kind of escape from what they're going through, and it is interesting, to see that. And then even just YouTube, right? That's how it starts, and then maybe it turns into something that almost defeats that purpose. And then you're like, I need to go escape from that. It doesn't always have to be that way. I don't want to just put social media in a negative light, because it's not. It's really not. I mean, I don't think so. I think there's a lot of good that comes out of it. But it is just interesting, I don't know, that transformation, that evolution. So
Yeah. So Zoe, what do you think as far as like perception and stuff of, social media? What have you found? I mean, you have 600 followers. I mean, let's talk about that.
I'm going to keep hearing about that one more time. I definitely feel like everybody tries to please people on social media, and they try to make their lives look better than they actually are. Like, I know, like, I'll post something just for other people to see, like, oh, like, I'm at the beach. Like, I want you to see I'm here and having a good time. But in reality, I could be sitting on the beach miserable because, I don't know. Yeah. But it's definitely I don't have all the followers that everybody else has, but I could see, like, how people are affected. Like, I know, like, a lot of YouTubers, they'll take breaks after a long time just because it's, like, so much for them. Like, I don't know, like, the one YouTuber I watched for years, she's been famous for, like, 10 years on YouTube, and I just know, like, how tolling it was on her, just, like, from watching videos. So definitely feel like it's more than it seems.
No, and I agree. What about you, Cassidy?
Gosh, I'm not prepared for this one. So I definitely think that you get like a lot of anxiety, even me necessarily. I don't post a lot on any social media. I just kind of like, okay. So whenever I was like in that awkward stage, I was like, oh yeah, I got to post all the time to like show these mean girls like a bad sense, but like, hey, I'm better than you kind of feel. But like now I just don't really care. Like I'll post like something exciting, but like I feel like it gives you a lot of anxiety. And like, are these girls gonna be mean and like comment something mean, like if they don't like this, or like I don't know, just like how they all said about like the likes.
So Emma, what do you think about the social media and like perceptions and stuff?
You're posting these things about yourself where you're in like this very good light, and like we all said, maybe you're not at the time, but everyone is saying like, oh, I wish I could be like her, and and you want people to think that of you. So you're creating this like false reality of yourself. So maybe like you don't know who you are in a way. I feel like that could really hurt someone because you're always trying to put on this front that you're in this great place in life and you're not. And maybe people accept you because you're in that place, but you really want to be someone else.
I just wanted to agree with Cassidy really quickly when she said that there was a time where she was posting kind of like all the girls that were mean to her, like, okay, here I am now, things like that. I completely agree. I think I've talked about this on this show before, but like I had a very, very difficult time in middle school. I went to an arts school for high school, so it got a lot better. But even now, the things that I do with my boyfriend, which I mentioned before, ski, surf, all the things that we do, I think about myself 5 years ago and what people would say, like, oh, Alexandra would never do that. That's not Alexandra, because I had anxiety and that's how everybody saw me. And so a lot of the times I still catch myself. Sometimes I post those things, climbing, whatever, just to be like, yeah, I do this. And I'm not that girl that everybody thought I was 5 years ago. I'm capable of doing this. So I kind of get in like a bit of a situation where I'm like, is that good? Like, am I doing this for myself or am I doing this for other people? You know what I mean? It can be kind of hard. The line is kind of blurred, I feel like.
No, I kind of agree, because I even know, like, growing up, even for myself, which is, I'm very young. But I mean, you just want to say, here, you all thought I wasn't going to make anything of myself, but
Exactly.
Look what I did. And it's just
Exactly.
like, you want to just throw it in their face, which I know is not the kind thing to do, but it's just kind of
being
like,
honest. It's just,
we all do it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's somebody in your life that you just wanted to prove them wrong because they picked on you, or they just felt like you weren't something. So
and social media is the easiest way to do that. So,
Yep.
I don't know.
I think I'm gonna say a couple good things about social media right after I say this, just because
course.
social media is great. But the most dangerous thing about social media is that kids try to sell themselves as more interesting than they actually are, and so then like no matter how unrealistic other expectations might be, they can never meet their own expectations of themselves. So they set this super high bar, and then they're like, oh, I'm posting with my dad's car, and you're like, dude, you're 8. You're using your dad's iPad. What is,
Yeah.
or I'm gonna take this, and like and any human being can see how like that's clearly fake. It's a stock picture, but the kids are super proud of it, and then they start getting a sense of achievement by proving something that doesn't exist by posting something that doesn't exist. That being said, social media is a way to express yourself creatively that has never been a thing before. Like, when I started, I didn't really I didn't think anything of it. I just loved making videos of any kind, and I started making all sorts of videos. I would jump up and then freeze frame, and then I would just keep doing, and it would be hours, and then you would just see me up in the air, and I was so proud of that because it's just a way of projecting my creativity onto the world without needing a degree or without needing a bunch of subscribers on YouTube. So social media has led to a lot of creative breakthroughs among young people, which is amazing.
No, I do think social media, I think it does have some good because you can connect with people that you never connected with in the past. But I will say I do think social media has played even an increase in, people the freedom of, it's just my personal opinion, to be able to cheat, because you're searching for other people out there that if you're not happy in your own home, you have a more accessibility to find somebody else to make you happy. You know what I'm saying? I personally think that I guess I touched on a subject, so let's talk about that.
Oh, no, there's no subject.
Just making
there.
eyes at each other over there. I was like, oh my god.
Oh.
No, just Santiago and I we met through TikTok. It really can form really, really nice connections. Some of my closest friends I met through there.
And I think that's good because that's exactly, you can meet people, and even with you guys, you're from Florida, you're from up here, and it brings you guys together. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But when it's used detrimental, to be if you're up on Facebook or Snapchat or TikTok and 2 a.m. and your spouse is sleeping next to you, and that's the problem.
But also, social media, I guess it's more leaning on technology than social media, but I think it was a month in a relationship nowadays is the same amount of contact as 5 years in the 70s, because in the 70s you wake up and you wake up with your partner or not, and you go to work or you go to school, and then you see your partner, you call them, and then you see them in person for a couple hours, and then you go back home. So then you get 2 hours of face-to-face contact. But now with social media, we FaceTime all day, every day. It's kind of ridiculous.
No, I think technology, I think it's a positive thing in the world, because even when I went my senior year of high school, I went to Europe, and we talked on the phones. I couldn't see my parents. And it's not like it is now where you can FaceTime. You literally had to write letters. I hate to say it. It was a while ago. But, it's just it's totally different now because, my parents are in Texas. You can FaceTime. You can see them, and you can see your grandparents or anybody you guys want to talk to. And it makes more of a connection because it's different when you're just talking to somebody on the phone versus when you physically see them on the phone, So what do you think, Zoe?
With the whole friend making thing, I've made 2 really close friends. One, we've been friends for 5 years, and she lives in Georgia, and we would talk every day. And at first I was really skeptical about it. I'm like, is this a real person? I was like, do you want to FaceTime or something? And we've been friends for 5 years. And then another friend I made, we've been friends for about 2 years, and we FaceTime all the time. We've never met, but we FaceTime all the time, text all the time. And I think that's one of the best things that come out of social media. But yeah, with going away to college, I'm so happy that I have FaceTime because I'm constantly with my mom, constantly. So I'm already dreading having to leave her. I don't know, I'm just glad I have that I can see my friends, and I don't know, even if my friend lives 5 minutes on the road, I could FaceTime her and just talk, and that's one of the best things ever.
What about you, Cassidy? You have a boyfriend. So how do you guys communicate?
Well, now, he just turned 18, so now he thinks that he's Mr. Tough Guy, so he thinks we're allowed to hang out whenever now, but I'm still 17, so mommy sets rules for me. I have to be home by 11,
Mommy still sets rules for me.
And like
21.
me and my mom are very, very close, so like I do bend the rules a lot, and I do get away with a lot. But like the one thing I do is like come home at the right time. Like 11, I'm home and in bed because like sleep is important to me. But he's always at my house now, and he'll stay a really long time. But like me and him are like best friends, so it's fine. But we'll FaceTime when we're not together. We'll text every day, all day. So it's an all day thing.
Cool. What about you, Emma?
I don't have a boyfriend, so I gotta worry about that stuff. But I feel like technology, yes, is good, but whenever, I don't know, say like I'm at my friend's cabin in the woods, we're going to the lake, and I'm not on my phone all day or interaction with computer screens or whatever, it's just so freeing to have that. It like, I want to say it like brings me back to my childhood, you know, and I didn't have to worry about those types of things. I didn't worry someone was going to call me and I'm going to need to pick up and whatever, but I kind of feel bad for the kids who like grew up on an iPad, you know what I mean? Like their parents just like, no offense to parenting skills, you're doing a great job. Kids are a pain in the rear, but the parents who just like shoved an iPad in front of their kid's face and said, here, watch YouTube, you know, like they never got to experience like, I'm going to go run outside for an hour until I'm tired, then I'm going to come eat dinner, you know, with my family and sit down and go to bed. So, I don't know. Technology's good for connection, but I feel like you always need those moments to yourself to be, like, away from it all.
Like when you're a kid and you like build like a hut in the woods.
Yes,
And then you, like,
I was that kid. I built huts in the woods.
Yeah, and then you like would make like mud pies and be like, this is
Listen,
my
I had fake campfires a lot.
Yeah.
They were just sticks stacked on top of
Yeah.
each other and imaginary fire.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
more so everybody, you know, you're on technology and like the fun part of growing up as a child just is not there. You know?
which is so sad because I was like so excited to like grow up and be an adult, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, wow, this sucks. Like, I'm gonna have to learn to pay taxes soon. Yeah, no, it's not that nice to.
You're like, put the brakes on, like going
Yeah.
to college and like can I just stay in this little world for a little bit?
Yeah, your own little world where you're safe and mommy and daddy are there to like pick you up if you fall down for the most part. But yeah, it's like, go on.
Hey, I'm 45. I still call my mom and dad.
Yeah, well.
I call my mom and I. We talk probably like 3 times a day, and she's in Texas. So it's you just always have. I'm very blessed that my parents are still around, but I think that when you have that, you know, structure, you're just kind of like, oh, I mean, Zoe, you and your mom are pretty tight, so I mean, she'll always be there. She'll be up there like every weekend. You'll be like, Ma, I need to like do this college thing, right?
I think the biggest thing to I think, like, for me, the biggest thing I take away from social media in general is that it's not social media's fault that we're having a problem with it. So I just have to remember that and know that I love this thing, but like anything, I have to, like, know when to moderate it, you know? If your kid needs, like, if you're spending, like, a car ride with your kid for, like, 8 hours, of course, throw an iPad on his face so it's quiet. But if you're at the lake house, away, you know? Or yourself, if you're on your phone all day, like at night, maybe you turn it off at like 8 or something. I'd never do that, just saying. But like, you know, it's good to know, like, now I used to post 5 times a day, every day, spend, like, in between meals, I would be like, oh, an idea, do it, you know? Now I post, if anything, once every 6 days, and I'm like the happiest I've been in a couple, like in months. So it's important to set yourself limits and not blame the social media for being social media.
No, and I agree. I mean, I met my husband. I mean, this was MySpace. I don't even think it was around. Yeah,
You met him on
it was like when you.
MySpace?
We met on MySpace.
Really?
I wasn't even searching for anybody.
You've
'cause I
never
gave
told
up.
us about this.
Yes, I met on MySpace.
That's a true love story.
Yeah.
He told me I kept
MySpace.
popping up. I was like, he goes, this girl's never going to go out with me, and he messaged me, and I'm like, ugh. 1 hour when we planned on going out, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore because I got tired of dating and everything. So 1 hour prior, we were going to cancel. And then we ended up going, and we have been together ever since, which will be April 30th. We'll be married for 10 years, and I've been with him for 13. So that's 10 years of, woof, yeah. He'll say something different. He's bald. I said he was bald before I met him. It wasn't my fault. But I think social media is good for, certain things, but I think I do agree with you, Santiago, that you have to limit yourself, just because if you're on it all day, I don't think it's healthy personally. So how many hours do you spend on social media?
Too many.
How many hours do you spend on your phone? Can we do that?
Can we do
Yeah.
a thing?
Yeah.
Isn't that
Oh
incentive?
boy, you guys all whip that out.
Who do you think has the most? I think who.
Wait, like today?
See all
No.
activity.
I like an average.
Okay.
I think I have the most.
Daily average 7 hours and 4 minutes.
Oh, we might have the same. Okay, because we're on FaceTime all the time. I think me and Bethany are gonna have
Yeah,
the
you're
same.
probably gonna win.
I think I'm gonna have a little more than her.
During quarantine, mine was like 18 hours though. That was pretty bad. 7 hours and 4 minutes.
Wait.
I might have the lowest.
What do you got?
What is it?
9 hours and 7 minutes.
Oh. She beats me by 17 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
4 hours and 11 minutes.
I'm
Good
just
for
impressed
you.
that You guys all just whipped out those phones bam.
find it.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
8 hours and 35.
I'm 850.
What one advice would you give on social media to kind of, as far as to anybody that would be watching us, as far as how much they spend and perception, and give a good advice to them that not everything you see is real, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say moderate yourself. Try to go into the real world and, experience things for yourself, because you can watch everyone else's experiences on social media. But if you want to do something for yourself that you think you'd like, go out and do it, even if you find out you don't like it later. And as far as perceptions, almost nothing is probably real on social media, or you'll perceive it in a way you want to, because you're the one viewing it. You know what I mean?
Just be you. Don't try to be someone else. Stop face tuning things. Just be real.
I would just say post what makes you happy and not what you want other people to like. My biggest advice for that.
Cool deal.
Yeah.
Bethany?
I'd say, honestly, try not to look at the numbers. They don't matter as much as you think they do. Doesn't
Because
matter.
then again, you're judging yourself based off of what people like
Yeah.
of what you posted.
Exactly.
So, and we're going to finish up with our guest speaker here today, our guest.
Yeah. Know what you're doing to yourself when you're on social media. It's like any sort of addiction. If you really like coffee, know what that's doing to you. And if you're going to pursue it as a career, make sure your social media surrounds your life, not your life surrounds your social media.
Okay. Well, I thank everybody for contributing to our social media conversation today. We have one last thing. We want to wish a very happy birthday to our teen, Miss Bethany, who will be 18. So if we can all say happy birthday to her this Wednesday. Woo! So, and we will be back within the next month. We also have, remember, we have our podcast. We also have our fashion show April 25th now to raise money for girls who cannot afford to go to prom for our Project Prom, which is very important. We have postponed this show 5-6 times, but this is it. I am having it. So April 25th at the Hilton Garden Inn in South Point, Canonsburg, PA. So on that note, we want to make sure everybody stays beautiful, love yourself, and you know what? Enjoy the weather out there. And thank you, Santiago, for coming up and contributing to our social media. And basically be the best you, because that's the only person that you need to be. This is Carrie Ann out. See ya.